Hello guys, Jack here with Startuptrading.com. It is about 6:20 East Coast time. I'm just going to do a little bit of trade review, talk about some setups I took today, some that worked and some that did not work, and kind of my thought process going into it. One of my first trades of the day here was this NASDAQ extension, and this level was in my morning trade plan. So what I was looking for was an extension in the NASDAQ from the anchor of 91.48.5. Now this extension had traded to target prior to the open, so it was a same anchor new high, and the 38% retracement was 92.40 quarter, and that's where I was going to get long. Now that was part of my morning trade plan. This also lined up with the prior high. I always like to see levels that line up with prior high and the NASDAQ, and this is something I've been using a lot lately, is whatever the direction of the last leg start is the direction I like to trade. Now, right now the last leg start is actually red, but in the morning the last leg start was green, and that's what I like to see when I'm going long, is the last leg start green. If you have, the last leg start and the previous leg start both green, that's also good. But anyway, we did have the last leg start green at that point in time. Now, another thing I wanted to make sure that we had was the VIX kind of coming into what I considered it to be its like confirmation level. And if we just go back, there's a couple of bad ticks in here. I feel like I should just remove these candles. These are all bad wicks. They don't exist. But the resistance level was, really between 29, 28, and 29.45 was the actual 50% retracement of the extension, once again in the morning trade plan. So if you go to the VIX, or I'm sorry, the NASDAQ, and take a look at what time we traded that. So that was, sorry, I'm gonna minimize this. That was right at 9:55. Okay, traded right at 9:55. If you look at the VIX right at 9:55 was running into, at that time it was the 38% retracement. So as long as we were at those resistance levels, I feel safe taking the trade. So that was one of the first trades I took here this morning, and probably one of my best trades all day. So I just wanted to review that trade. Also, I did take a USD JPY 50% retracement long that stopped me out. I'm going to go over that trade. So what we had this morning, and this was just a second traditional, we had, I was looking at, you could have used the low, I think it was the low of Friday to high that I had drawn, and we completed those profit targets at 107.48. I was looking for that next measured move, and that next measured move was at a 107.27. Now, I decided to put my stop below the 61.8 here, but I got taken out. Had I just followed my rules of using a 1 hour ATR stop, I would have been fine. You can see that at the top left, that is right now it's about 10 pips, which would have been a stop at 107.17 and a first target of 107.37, which would have been hit. So realistically, I should have just been a little more loose with my stop, but I did get stopped out on this USD JPY 50% retracement long. And then also one of the trades I took this morning after some confirmation was silver. Now, while I was doing the morning trade plan, we were actually trading this higher time frame support. I really wish I had an order in there, because this is a daily extension. We ran into this daily extension to the tick. Sometimes when I do my morning trade plan, I don't have a chance to participate in the trades I'd like to. But anyway, we reacted off of that level. And I don't always like to buy that first pullback after the reaction. Often you'll see a dip into the 61 or dip into the 78 because it's making a little bit more of a bottom. But when we get this second wave higher here, I like to then take that next 50% retracement. So this was a trade here I took in silver, which was just that low of the day to high. Now, we did trade and react off of this level, and then we spent some time consolidating. This trade never completed its profit target, and I stopped out on a trail. So I ended up, as we made these new highs, I had moved my stop below that 61.8, and I got my first target off, and then got stopped out on the second half. So, that's, I think, pretty good review. I'm going to do more of these. That's just 3 examples. One of just a full stop out. One of them moved and went to target, and one of them that I kind of had to manage. I hope this video helps. If it did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know how I can make these